All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your Smackdown review for January 19th, 2024. I thought outside the bloodline stuff it was just pretty much a boring show. Not really that much happened. We had the Fatal Four-Way the contract signing with AJ Styles, LA Knight, Randy Orton, and Roman Reigns. It's official now. It's the Fatal Four-Way for next week at the Rumble. I thought Kevin Owens and Logan Paul, that was okay, decent at best segment. Usually Logan Paul has a microphone, he's just unbearable, but tonight or last night was decent, I guess. But yeah, other than that, it just felt like a boring show. Not a whole lot happened outside the bloodline stuff. I thought Karrion Kross and Authors of Pain, they had like a good video package. They're gonna have a face to face with Lashley and the Street Profits next week. So hopefully that's a good segment. Hopefully it's in the ring, face to face, not in backstage. But yeah, and then you got Butch. Oh, now he's not Butch anymore. Changed his name to Pete Dunne. I just don't really care about that. What's the difference? He's just changed his name and that's it. Who cares? Being booked. He's being booked in a feud with Pretty Deadly or just random matches with his new partner Tyler Bates or whatever his name is. And you got Roman Reigns with his Brian Griffin teeth, smiling. That was hilarious. As soon as I saw him smile, I just thought of Brian Griffin. But that was hilarious. And you had Paul Heyman run into the ring like a penguin. Oh man. All right, so I'm gonna cover SmackDown this video. Then you got the Seth Rollins news to get to, and then Royal Rumble predictions. Don't think they're gonna add any more matches, but we'll see. Might save that for next week. We'll see. All right, let's get to it. First up, we got Nick Aldis in the ring with the contract in hand or on the table there on the desk. He calls out AJ Styles. His music hits. He makes his way to the ring. He signs a contract. Next up, LA Knight. That's not too bad of a leather jacket he's got on. LA Knight. Yeah, LA Knight's music comes out. He signs a contract. Let me sign the contract. Yeah. You got Randy Orton's music hits. He comes out there. He signs a contract. So three guys have signed the contract. Then we got Roman Reigns music hits, and it's Paul Heyman. Says we haven't submitted this contract to an attorney, and Roman Reigns won't sign the contract. Nick Aldis says that's okay. I'll make it a triple threat since the other three have signed for the vacant undisputed world title. This is where like Heyman starts going back to the ring, and he's like running to the ring like a damn penguin. No, they don't have a photo of it. So he goes back. Then he grabbed his arm and he says, I care deeply about you, Nick Aldis. The thing turned into a soap opera. Oh my God. Got all emotional and stuff. Then he says, I respect the mediocre job you've done. Then he's like, you look good wearing your Paul Heyman wannabe custom suits. That was hilarious by Paul Heyman. And then he starts now he just starts complaining. He says Roman Reigns shouldn't be defending it in a fatal four way. Should be defending it in a one-on-one match. And LA Knight gets the mic. He said, "Shut up, Paul." AJ Styles and Randy Orton jump to the front of the line after having a few months off. And AJ grabbed the mic, cuts him off, says the bloodline tried to end my career. And you walked over my dead body to get that match with Roman, and you lost. You're lucky to be in this match. LA Knight, and he responds, there's someone with a horseshoe up his keister, it's you. You should watch the bass in your voice when you're talking to me and turn all your attention to Roman Reigns. Man, LA Knight is fired up, man. AJ says, we're not just fighting Roman Reigns, we're fighting each other. And then LA Knight says, I pin Roman Reigns, I become champion. If that means I have to walk over your dead body again, I will. I will do it. Only difference being, it won't be the bloodline that leaves you. It'll be me. And then AJ Styles attacks LA Knight. And they fight all the way to the entranceway right there. And then you got a bunch of security and refs come out to stop all that. And then we got back in the ring. Paul Heyman's like smiling. He's on the apron. And Randy Orton's with him right there. Randy Orton, he grabs Paul Heyman's tie. The look on Heyman's face was priceless. Randy Orton says, I will see what you're trying to do, Paul, and it's not going to work. I'm going to drop Solo tonight when I win versus him. After I do that, I'm going to reintroduce Roman Reigns to the three most dangerous letters in all of sports entertainment. RKO. So I thought this was not pretty good at opening segment. Got a lot of star power in this upcoming main event next week. So it should be good. Good match next week at the Rumble. All right, next up we got and I like the back and forth between AJ Styles and LA Knight. So hopefully after the Fatal 4-Way, they could have a feud soon. If not to if not for WrestleMania, then after WrestleMania, I guess. I was digging the back and forth, and they got a storyline there because LA Knight got the team up with Cena after the Bloodline injured AJ Styles' storyline. So thought that was good exchange between those two. All right, next up we got LWO and Carlito versus Santos and LDF. A little Legado del Fantasma. Santos rolls up Carlito for the win, and then yeah, that was pretty much it. So it's gonna be Santos versus Carlito next week apparently. Just didn't really care for this because the Santos Rey Mysterio thing that's not gonna get good until Rey Mysterio comes back to get that feud going because that's what everybody wants to see. So yeah, just didn't really care for this match. All right, next up we got uh a segment in the back with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. We were talking about Karrion Kross guys. You guys thought your intimidation tactics were gonna work. You have our attention. Name the time and place. So they're pretty much just calling out the what's the crew's name? Final Testament or whatever. And then later in the night, Karrion Kross guys responded, so they basically accepted. And Karrion Kross is like, "Oh, you guys are basically yes men who haven't made it yet or whatever in WWE." So they're gonna face to face next week. So hopefully it's a good segment. All right, next up we got Pretty Deadly versus Pete Dunne now and Tyler Bates. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates win. Don't really care for this either. So what? This guy changed his name. They're being booked in a feud with Pretty Deadly or just random matches. Who cares? Kind of pointless to me. All right, next up we got Kevin Owens and Logan Paul, the KO show. So Logan Paul, KO pretty much introduces him. Logan Paul makes his way out to the ring. Logan Paul says, "I am the show. You're the reason I'm in WWE." And KO's like confused, like explain yourself. They showed a clip from WrestleMania 37. I even forgot this happened. KO stunnered Logan Paul. I think he was on commentary something that 3 years ago, whatever. And then after they show the clip, Logan Paul says, "You embarrassed me in front of 70,000 people. That was the moment I had to prove to you and the entire W universe that I belong here. Thank you, Kevin." KO says, "I barely remember doing that. I've been doing this for 25 years. You're just one of many. I am stunned. This is just another celebrity guest. You did stick around. You became better at this than anyone ever thought. As good as you are, you're not one of us. You're not Rey Mysterio, Seth Rollins. You're not Sami Zayn. You're not Kevin Owens." Logan Paul says, "Man, I don't want to be like y'all. I'm one of one." KO says, "I can't come out here and say everything about you. There's a lot I can't talk about, and you know why. You are protected." Basically talking about Logan Paul when he scammed people with that crypto nonsense. Says you were offered all the tools you could you could need to win a title because of the attention you bring. You being US champion, United States champion is a joke. And Logan Paul says the only reason you were able to knock me down is because of that cast. KO takes the cast off. And as soon as he turns around, Logan Paul just sucker punches him right there. KO gets up and he punches Logan Paul. And then they go, spills out outside to the ring. Logan Paul, he swings KO's hand against the metal pole. So he damages, his hand is damaged again. Yeah, so I thought it was a decent back and forth segment between Logan Paul and Kevin Owens. Not too bad segment. All right, backstage, we got a segment with the bloodline. Roman Reigns says, I get to my bus and I see a viper on your neck, Heyman. We only got one wise man. Man, we got two of you. You sent him out there talking to Jimmy here, and he starts mocking him. You're like, you the quarterback, backup quarterback, hot route audible, just making fun of him. And then so he's just talking to Jimmy. Solo steps in between them, says, last week was on me. You named me tribal heir for a reason. I'm gonna show you and fix it. So Solo Sikoa is gonna step up to fix the mess that they got themselves into. All right, we got a backstage segment with Carmelo Hayes. So basically, he's talking about the match from last week, how it ended in a draw or whatever, because both guys got banged up after a dumb move Austin Theory tried. Spanish Fly. He says, Melo Hayes says, even though I didn't win, I didn't lose. Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, they show up in the segment. Austin Theory's like, you tried to end my career last week. Now you get an interview on my show in my city. Melo challenges Austin Theory to match. He's like, we could run it back or whatever. And then Theory thinks about it for like a couple of seconds and he says, next week, man, I'm busy. I got a lot of things going on. Grayson Waller, he just says, you got nothing going on. Yeah, so he says, you got nothing going on. And he says, Austin Theory would love to face you. And Austin Theory, and then Melo Hayes is like, oh, let me go to Adam Pearce's office and not Adam Pearce, to Nick Aldis' office and make it official. And Austin Theory's like, man, you gotta stop doing that, man. Just making a match on the spot, whatever. I think that's like twice or three times he's done that now. All right, next up we got AJ Styles versus LA Knight. Wasn't really much of a match because Solo interfered at the end of it. He hit a Samoan spike on both of them. And then Solo gets in the ring. He says 2 down, 1 to go. It's like Randy Orton, get out here, whatever. Called him out. So we got Solo versus Randy Orton. Randy Orton hit a back suplex on the announce table, and then he hit the middle rope DDT. And we got Jimmy Uso. He gets out there. LA Knight attacks him. Jimmy fights him off, and then it's at the entranceway. AJ Styles attacks Jimmy, and Randy Orton's watching all of this, and he's watching all of this, and the crowd's like trying to warn him because Solo's behind him, ready to do the Samoan spike, and he hits an RKO for the win. And then Nick Aldis the whole time he was outside the ring, was watching with the contract in his hand. And we got all three guys after the match. And LA Knight punches AJ, and then Randy Orton he drops LA Knight with an RKO. Then AJ gets up, he drops AJ with an RKO. Then we got Tribal Chief, it's a Superman punch right there. And then Nick Aldis gives the contract to Roman Reigns. He signs it. That's a sweet hoodie, by the way, that Roman's got on. Atlanta Acknowledge Me hoodie. And then so Nick Aldis gives the contract to Roman. Roman signs it. He goes to hand it to to Nick Aldis, but instead he just throws it on the ground. Roman goes for the spear. And Randy counters it with an RKO. And then he puts the contract in front of Roman Reigns. Oh, no, they didn't have a picture for it. Yeah, but he put the contract in front of Roman Reigns, pretty much saying it's a signed deal, man. So that was pretty much it for SmackDown. So we got Randy Orton hitting RKOs on all three guys to end the show, pretty much. And him putting the contract in front of Roman's face and be like, this might be it for your title reign. But it's not. He's going to retain the title at Royal Rumble next week. So yeah, it's mostly a boring SmackDown, I thought, for the most part. All right, let's get to this mess with Roman Reigns right now. Said he had the Brian Griffin teeth earlier. Proof right here. Got Roman Reigns. There's his teeth. Look how white his teeth are, man. Come on, man. And then look at this. And he got Brian Griffin. Oh, this is hilarious, man. Look at that. Got him, and he got Brian Griffin. All right, man. Let's get to Seth Rollins now. Got his injury right there. All right, let's see. This is from Bleacher Report. Got a knee injury. That's the torn MCL, partially torn meniscus in this article, it says, from Bleacher Report. Seth Rollins suffered a torn MCL and a torn meniscus during Raw this past Monday, the match against Jinder Mahal. Gonna make an announcement on Monday's episode of Raw. Basically address his future. He's gonna drop the title, or is the title? Yeah, he could go a bunch of ways if he drops the title. The history of knee injuries. He tore his ACL and MCL and meniscus in 2015. So yeah, he gave up the title that year. So we'll see if he does the same thing this time. Injury was not part of a storyline and was legitimate. Rollins was helped to the backstage area and able to put weight on his leg. He had a limp. Bad news may be forthcoming. Rollins was pulled from scheduled appearances at live events. And yeah, so he's gonna address his health as in future as World Heavyweight Champ on Raw this coming Monday. So at least it's not a torn ACL, because torn ACLs probably it's like you take an 8 to 10 month injury, sometimes a year. So that's a good thing. It was only an MCL. Just looking at from that point. So yeah, so a number of ways it can go, or is that it for the article? Yeah, so he could miss WrestleMania, or he could be back for WrestleMania. It was supposed to be Punk versus Rollins. They still could do that match if he's fully healed by then, fully healthy. So yeah, if he drops the title, he could they could put it out for the Rumble winner, I guess. Whoever wins the Royal Rumble match could win the title. He could put it up from the Elimination Chamber match. The winner Chamber gets the title, or just vacate, or he keeps the title while he's injured and then defends it against CM Punk at the WrestleMania Night 1 main event. So yeah, there's a bunch of ways they can go with it. So we'll see what happens with that. And lastly, let's see. Should I do my Rumble predictions? See how many matches they got. Two Rumble matches in the world title. And Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens. Okay, I'll probably just do a video next week then for the Rumble predictions. Only 4 matches listed. They'll probably add one more, and that's about it. Because you got men's match probably gonna be an hour, women's Rumble match an hour, and then 20, 25 minutes for the Fatal 4-Way, and then KO and Logan Paul 15 minutes. So yeah, pay-per-views are usually 3 hours, 3.5 hours. So yeah, I'll just do the Rumble prediction video next week. So yeah, that was pretty much it for this week. See ya.